the mayor of the city of Bratislava, and he will give us a lecture about how is it to be a mayor when you are an architect. And he has something in common with our mayor. Both are also musicians. Matus Vallo, he plays the bass guitar in a punk band. Therefore, I think it could be, or it will be very interesting to see, to hear about his perspective about what is a city or what should be a city in future. And before he will start his lecture, I also welcome our mayor, Georg Willi, and he will give us some words.
Dear Matus Vallo, dear Arno Ritter, oh here it is, dear Alexander, dear Wolfgang Andexlinger, dear guests, sorry for reading my speech, but my English is not very good. My son always says, oh father, you should learn English. Let me begin by thanking Arno Ritter from Out, Architektur und Tirol for organizing this event and inviting Mayor Vallo to Innsbruck. From architect and urban activist to mayor, seems like a good idea. Dear architects and future architects in the audience, please feel inspired. Consider your career choices, but could you please maybe wait a couple of years? It's just that I really enjoy my current role as Innsbruck's mayor. I'll even promise that you will always find an open door and willing ears to listen to you and your concepts, to listen to you and your expertise. I hope that Mayor Vallo will not only share his ideas and some insight into ongoing projects in Bratislava, but will also tell us about his experience as a mayor. That he will let us know about the difficulties to build a city, not by bricks and mortar, but through the political tools of persuasion and cooperation. Enduring within a conquest of different ideas, interests and worldviews can be hard. Competing while being strictly regulated by law is even harder. Doing so within a budget might be the hardest. It means you have to choose, and there might be no obvious best choice. Sometimes there seem to be only horrible choices, but there is nothing worse than having no choice at all. That is why I prefer democracy to any other system of government. It is the only regime that guarantees choice. Choice is important in our private space, and it is even more so in the public area. That might be why we fight so much when planning and designing public places. We know that our interests are at stake since we all are stakeholders. And sometimes we forget to consider the legitimacy of other interests, of other opinions, of other ideas, that they even might have precedence over our own. Let us not be doodlers fighting for the blue building brick in the hands of our friend when there are lots of other bricks around, even of the same color. Let us be considerate and play together, sharing ideas, looking for common goals, learning from each other, and we can build not only a better city, but a better world. Have a nice and inspiring evening with Matus Vallo.
Before I give forward to Matus Vallo, I forgot something to say. This event today is in cooperation with the Out, the Architekturzentrum Innsbruck, Architekturforum Innsbruck, together with the City Planning Department. Matus Vallo, please, it's your part.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for where is the mayor? Thank you very much for very beautiful words, and thank you very much, Innsbruck, for having me here. My name is Matus Vallo, of course, as you know that. Today I will tell you something about not only city of Bratislava, which is a beautiful city, a little bit bigger, a little bit poorer than Innsbruck, as the capital city of Slovakia, but also about how an architect became a mayor. It's going to be not only about architecture I did, it's going to be also about a book I wrote with 76 people called Prime Bratislava, which was one of my keystones for the victory in my election exactly a year ago, was 10 of November 2018. So the first thing, I mean, if you say to somebody that you are an architect, you need to show the images. It's always the images who talk from themselves. And for me, the architecture was at the beginning of my love for the city, for the public space. This is I will show you one project and a few other images. This is the project, the last project I did as an architect. I had a company, we still are having 18 employees. This is the project of when we put together 3 national heritage buildings and made a philanthropy project for our client where he made a new public space, but he also made a bakery, new bakery, small theater space, and new restaurant in this building. These all designed interiors and urbanism and public space designed by our office. It's important to say that the role of architects is of absolute necessity or importance for somebody who needs to be able to do compromises. If you're an architect, you can do the building only with many permits and many dialogue and many discussions around one table. So the architect has this capability to put different kind of people, different kind of expert around one table and try to find a compromise, try to find results. This is something which I finding now when I'm a mayor for 1 year already very useful. And of course you need as an architect to make a decision. Imagine you see this building with the wooden beams, wooden facade, and it's look like easy wooden facade, but we spend hours and hours negotiating with the national heritage people, with fire department, and this is something I can very use also today when I'm a mayor. This is another few images, so you have to idea. This is some apartment building we built at Košice, more than 1,000 flats. This is another interior, is an Asian restaurant in Bratislava, a bar, small bar. Few images just to let you know that I spent 15 years doing an architect. In 2008, still doing architecture, I understand that I mean, as an architect, I'm absolutely fascinated by the fact, and I absolutely believe that physical space can change the way how we are living our lives. Now we are doing this beautiful oak library. We visited the House of Music as well, everything oak. I like it. It's fantastic. And they already told me that they have more people coming to library today than before. Of course, we have a new library. It's a beautiful place. It's all prepared for spending a quality time with the books here. The physical space is changing how we are living this experience. And of course, for me, the scale of a building or small urban space wasn't enough. I started to be completely fascinated by the cities and how the cities are influencing the way we are living. And in 2008, with my colleague, we founded a project called Urban Interventions. Urban Intervention project was all about the ideas which architects can donate pro bono to their cities. every architect has some ideas about, for example, public space. So we decided, let's put this idea together and give it to our cities. So we invited our friends, colleagues, designers and architects to not only find a problematic spot in our public space, but also to bring the solution. It's also, if you are talking about the rule of an architect, it's also a kind of new rule of architects. Architect was always somebody who was waiting for the question. But today, and I mean, this is 2008, we changed it and we said, no, architect is asking the questions. Architect was somebody who was waiting for the questions and giving the answer. We said, no, architect is somebody who needs to ask the questions. And that was about urban intervention. So people didn't bring to the table only the identification of the problem, but they bring also the solution to the problem. And was very, very nice. It forms very nice triangle between the inhabitants, the citizen, architects, and the city hall. The three points which didn't talk too much in our city. With this project, we did it in 20 cities in Slovakia and Czech Republic, and we of course we did catalog. We did first 3, Prague, Brno, and Bratislava, and after we open it, and everybody who wants it to use this format as a frame for action in his own city can use it. So they did it, and they were sending us this catalog, and always there was one condition: to have a nice exhibition and nice catalog. These are the few images I'm showing you from build project. From this is the pavilion. Actually, we built this pavilion. Is from our office. Is a pavilion in the middle of Bratislava. This is another project called Green Square. Is a street art project which was showing, was asking for more some kind of work in this very important bus terminal under the bridge. This is the same spot with the new lighting, always made with the city didn't invest any money. We always find the money, and also did it with some problem with volunteers. And this is, for example, plateau above the road. I think we are going to build it in next year. This is the Green Bridge. Different projects, just to show you some ideas. What was the project about? In the end, we collect more than 1,000 projects for our cities. And because of this, because of urban intervention, I knew many people who are not only willing to donate to their city their energy and free time, but also their know-how. I'm talking about the people who are activists but are professionals, and they're bringing to the table very good ideas. And too many times we hear the words like, it's not possible, when we try to help our cities, or we do not have competence, or the worst one, get used to it. I'm the part of generation which we are not never going to used to it. We want to change the things, want to be in charge, and want to do it together. So I used to this possibility, and I put together around again the table all the people who wanted to help Bratislava, and asked them to help me write a book. So I connect the group of experts, and together we form something called Platform for Bratislava, and we started to work on our book called Plan Bratislava. In the end, I didn't know it when we started. In the end, there was 76 people who work on our book. And of course, there are two main things. I did a fundraising for the book. We fundraised 70,000 euros for that book. So there was some money, and I was able to pay some money to these experts. But the main idea, how are you going to ask to this big group of people to work 2 years nearly for free or completely for free about your ideas about the city? Of course, the most important thing is that we made a lot of meeting, presentation. There was 2 years of meeting different group of experts and explaining our ideas to the different groups of citizens and talking. I mean, there are too many these slides, I think. But it's true. We spent 2 years writing a book, which we decided it must be better. Is a vision for. I call it the manual for better city or manual for better Bratislava, and in the end, there are too many. I'm sorry for that. I didn't know, but that's all true. Okay, and how did you? And how? And I said to expert, I would like to have a material which is going to be a manual for a better Bratislava, which is going to be a better material, with a more bigger quality than any material, official material from the city. And how you are going to persuade these people to do it? Firstly, they knew me. They knew that I'm in love with our city, Bratislava, and I spend a lot of time to do pro bono stuff and to be activist for Bratislava. But on the second hand, I tell them, if you are going to help me write the book, I'm going to run for a mayor. And if I'm going to win, I'm going to use the ideas from the book, your ideas, and make it real. To follow your advice, follow your ideas. So that was the magical trick. And we spent really 2 years working on it, meeting. There was many weeks I had every evening meeting with different group of experts. And in the end, we did Plan Bratislava, a complex vision of the capital in 12 thematic chapters. This is a material which is 600 pages big, but we published the book 220 pages. So, and was published by the biggest Slovak publisher house, and you can still buy it in Slovakia. Just to explain about the book, for us was very important to make a book which was full of information which wasn't about some pink glasses vision of some group of activists. It was exact ideas with founding, with saying how we can do that, legal limitation, money, all of the problem was solved here. But we wanted to make it nice to be attractive for somebody who is not so deep in the problematic of our city. So we really spent a lot of time to try and find a good design. And in the end, it works. I need to say that this was my main election campaign topic. I didn't have a famous name. I wasn't famous. Nobody really knows me. Maybe a little from my band. But I was a singer. He's famous. I'm just a bass player. So, and everybody told me, like, you are not going to win campaign with the information. People don't read the information. They don't read programs. You need to be a well-known face. I said, let's try to do that. And then we spent, again, many evenings to meeting people and explaining in them what the Plan Bratislava is about. So there are three main topics for me in this book, in Plan Bratislava. The first one is a public space. As I told you, is absolutely necessary. I definitely believe, as any good architect, must believe that the physical space can really change the way how we are treating other people, how we are living our lives. So public space is very important. Now we're doing a manual for public space, and actually the year 2021 and 2022 will be the revolution of public space in Bratislava. We're preparing this program, and we are now have another year and month to do the projects, to find the money to do some foundings. And the main idea is to show to the citizen that the very big step in the public space. You need to understand that Bratislava is a post-communist city, and the quality of public space during the communist era was very, very poor. There wasn't money in it. You didn't have you have more asphalt, and you didn't have, like, for example, high quality sidewalks. Was everything we kind of started from the scratch. Now, what we're doing, for example, I think it's beginning of the next year, we are doing a competition for design of our own bench and bicycle stand and garbage stand. We are going to own the design. We are going to choose who is going to produce it for us. But we'll be specify design bench for Bratislava. We are just following Prague. They did it 2 years ago, and they are having a beautiful, beautiful bench, which is a mix of old and modern bench, and it's very nice. Communication, this is something very important. You need to understand that there is a lack of good communication between our city and citizens. We don't really have, there was never a mayor who understands how important is to do a good service for citizens, and absolutely first step of it to have a good communication, to answer the questions, to meet the people in real life, not only on internet, to be active, to be present, and to be ready always to be there for the citizens. Just small example. Now we're doing a competition for a new uniform of our municipal police. The way how they are looking now is communicate to the citizens that we don't care about our municipal police, for example, which is must change. And we are doing a competition for a new uniform for people who are in the tram or bus. They're asking you to show them your tickets. I don't know the English name, but this is important. I want to have these people in uniforms, because now they're hiding. They're in normal clothes, and they jump in the train or bus, and they say, "Yeah, everybody show me the tickets." This must be over. We are adults. We're going to show people when the tram is coming to the stop. You will see that these guys in uniform are waiting, and they're going to check your ticket. But there are so other things in communication which is important, and they are very in bad shape I think in many post-communist cities. Of course, green. Today, I believe we are it's a climatic crisis. It's another change. It's a real problem, and we are going to put all the money and effort we'll have after the uniforms and the revolution in public space in green infrastructure, and in we already started. I'm having these positions which are called like ombudsman. It's somebody who is charged not is somebody who is just having one topic. So I have 6 people. One of these people are for urban planning. One of is for greenery. And he's the main person, main spokesman for me when we are dealing with environment or urban planning or homeless people and living, or we have drugs and security. So this is very important, and it's working very well. For example, when we are cutting a tree, and this is going back to the communication, we always showing big marks. When we, sorry, I will show you after I have image of it, so I forget about it. And of course, these are the chapters. I will go very quickly from our book. And I need to say one thing which is very important. After 1 year, I need to say this book is my salvation. It's working very well. I'm following every step in this book. As a mayor of city of 600,000 people, now I don't have a time at all for making some visions or stop everybody and say, yeah, let's for 2 weeks think about these problems. We are trying to save the city. So but we did it for 2 years. We have this book, and I'm following it, and it's working. So now I will go through it very quickly. There is another small details. My election motto was that I'm a inhabitant of Bratislava, which is very strange, but people in our survey say that for them is more important if you are born in Bratislava than what kind of ideas you are bringing to the table, which is very strange, but I was good. I was born in Bratislava and I have good ideas. But so inhabitant of Bratislava with the good team and the plan. Plan is Plan Bratislava, but the good team, that was the thing that I bring nearly half of the people who wrote the book with me to the city hall. I bring nearly 50 new people to the city hall. And now people who would never thought about working for city hall are working for city hall. And that's very good because they're very good professionals and people who are believe to my story, to the narrative that we are going to make Bratislava a great city again. It's just so identity, just very few words because this is very interesting. But imagine that Bratislava, Maria Theresia was coronated in Bratislava, and Bratislava for more than 400 years was the principal capital city of Kingdom of Hungary, very important city. But after they moved back to Vienna, they moved back to Budapest, and there was a decline. During the communist era, very big decline. After 90s, developers coming, crazy stuff happening. Now we are trying to save the city. So Bratislava didn't have an identity, or we calling it something like liquid identity. It was big jump in history. Imagine that Bratislava is the only capital city of countries of Europe with Oslo, which they changed their name in 20th century. In 1919, Bratislava changed name from Pressburg to Bratislava. And it's crazy that in that year, the majority of people wasn't Slovak people, was German and Hungarian. So the big jumps, and we understand there is no, for example, Innsbruck, if you want to say something about Innsbruck, it was to one sentence like identity. If somebody say Innsbruck, I say Olympic Games in like a second. Sorry, I don't know if you're happy with that. Okay, so winter. Innsbruck, winter. Is bad? Not good? I'm not going to save this, right? Okay, sorry, no more Innsbruck. Anyway, Bratislava don't have nothing like that. So we spent a year to understand that we actually didn't have a chance to have like real one strong identity, and this is our chance to do a new identity for Bratislava. That was the base of all the other chapters. Just example, the first one was the Bratislava city for everybody, for not only people who was born in Bratislava, but for other people from Slovakia, for other people who from the Europe. Today we are in Bratislava are working 35,000 citizens of EU or other countries. And Bratislava is the city which take care of their week or of somebody needs. That must be the main thing. And we are putting in this year 3 million euros to our section or to our department of social issues and work. And for example, Bratislava is a laboratory, so innovations and other points like that. Communication, there was one chapter just about communication. Mobility, all the mayors are going to say that's the biggest issue today and in every city. And people are still, people bought their third or fourth cars in the family, and they are still surprised why there is a traffic jam outside. But, you know, social sphere, very important. We have a huge problem with homelessness. I hired the top people who are dealing with homelessness in Bratislava. And of course, this is not something where quick wins are existing. You need to prepare many different policies to have some results. City development, I'm an architect. This is very important. I'm the maybe first mayor who is stopping the biggest developers in Slovakia. One of the biggest developer of Slovak biggest developer is actually the third biggest developer in Europe. This very big developer, and they're Slovaks. And in London they are doing beautiful stuff with Fosters and partners. In Bratislava they're doing not so nice stuff, and we are trying to talk with them, and we are also crazy enough to just stop them because we can, and they are not following the rules, of course. City administration, the complete renewal of how we are doing with the things in the city hall. I have 600 employees. In city companies we have another 3,000 employees. We are completely changing the way. It's very difficult because you come to this environment where everybody was very slow, everybody was very kind of not doing so much, and you want from them a lot of work, and the progress must be very slow, and it's very difficult, of course. But we're doing many things with this. Education, of course, it's not about only education of our colleagues and employees, as about education in general. Environment, as I told, the green team is of absolute importance for us. Culture, I mean, we see it today. I saw two beautiful culture building, and in Bratislava it's very nice that we have it's a capital city, so we have a state. This we call it high culture, national opera, national theater, national ballet, national gallery. But we have very strong and vivid scene of alternative culture. And these together are doing sometimes very interesting stuff. And we create this year completely new way of how we are going to deal with culture. We are going to put away the biggest part of our budget for culture and going to do a grants for people. The people outside our city hall are better to do culture than we are, and we're going to help them and found them. Innovation, of course, we have a lot of innovative companies. There's a company called Seinen, for example, is one of the most best-selling GPS for Apples and iPhones in the world. They're from Bratislava. They're having one of their big companies in Bratislava, and of course we would like to work, and we're starting to work with them about some innovation in terms of navigation. And finances, of course, this is the most boring but most important part of the book. We are having, Bratislava is having 17 city districts or neighborhoods. I have 17 mayors under my, they are not under my, but they are just the part of the city. And it's very important to have a good relation with them. It's absolutely important. So we did the book, but I promise to all these people who founded our book with 70,000 euros, and who write me for who helped me to write the book for 2 years, that I'm going to be a mayor one day. So when we write the book, I start to think about how I'm going to win the campaign, and I did another group of people, or is a civic association called Team Vallo. And of course we did all the thing about, again, founding. In the end, I was able to raise €500,000 euros for my campaign. And of course we did funny videos. That was this is the video about how the mayor is fighting with the city council, And after, if they found it fighting, everybody else fighting, cyclists with dogs and people with dogs, and with the park administration and with the builders and with the green activists, and everybody's fighting, tourists with the bars, and tourists with older people, and older people with sidewalks, and of course people with the cars fighting with, and in the end the fights began. In the end, we won the elections. Was just actually precisely 1 year ago, and I kept the promise. I start to deliver Plan Bratislava. So these are the few first things we did in this year. We start to work on Plan Bratislava 2030. We started to work on the new vision, the new book, but now, this time from official side, or from official place, from the Bratislava officially. And it's and of course, then Bratislava is super complicated city with the second biggest European river, Danube, with difficult situation and all this post-communist trauma. But the vision is looking good, and I believe we can really turn the situation in Bratislava around. There are the very important things, and for example, new chief of municipal police. This is very important. We have a lot of problems with security, and there's, you know, to be a policeman is not very attractive. Right now, in Bratislava, you need to understand that Bratislava has nearly zero unemployment rate. Like everybody has a job. There's 1,000 of jobs. We have Vienna, 40 minutes drive, a lot of people work in Austria. We have big IT companies, Slovak or from abroad, IBM and Amazon or IBM, Dell. They're having their European sites in Bratislava. So, but we found a very good new chief, and we did a new station. That's important. I said, we need to understand that the citizens of Bratislava are our clients. They are giving their taxes to the state, and state is giving the money to us. So we did this new, like, open office of municipal police in the street in the middle of Bratislava, which was always very problematic. Somebody told me, yeah, it looks like bar or bank. Yes, I said, yeah, I want it to look like bank, because in the bank there is this relationship, client and his provider or her provider. Behind this glass wall, we have a common community room where I already having a meeting with the policeman or having a meeting with the inhabitant of this street. I need to say, we put the station right in the middle of very not dangerous, but very not good zone in the middle of Bratislava. And of course, we did a campaign where we are asking to people who want to do that to be a part of the police. The campaign say, what is the difference when you play the policeman and when you are going to be a policeman? And they say 100,000, 100 euro 4 months. It's very small amount, but this is what we are now able to do as a starting salary for new policemen in Bratislava. And the campaign is doing very well, it's going well. There is a very important stuff. I just want to say that it's complicated. Too many information. Sorry. New parking rules. Imagine Bratislava was very behind, and we were one of the few capitals. We are only, I think, capital city in Europe without the official parking rules. So the biggest part of the city, you can officially park for free, never pay a penny, never. And of course, people now understanding that to have a right for free parking is something which is saying that you cannot touch it. But we change it now from next year, from 2021. Everybody who is inhabitant of Bratislava with the first car going to need to pay very small sum, 39 euro per year. For the second car is 150 euro. For the third car is 500 euro per year. If you are not inhabitant of Bratislava, you are going to pay every hour 1 or 2 euros. It depends where you are. Of course, it's going to take a time to cover all the part of Bratislava. We will start in 2021. It will be slow, but it's good that we made it. And it's funny that even if in a city council or city parliament I have 17 members of Team Vallo, we were able to explain it to other parties or people, and we have unisono vote, 45 votes on this super difficult, a very not popular decision. Chief Innovation Officer, the first time in history of Bratislava, we have somebody who is just taking care of innovation in every sense. We now are having finally open data. We have open data portal, so every data which are produced by Bratislava are open for anybody else. They can download it, and they can maybe see and look at this data with completely different point of view as we have, and maybe they can bring some innovation and they can help us to make a better solution. And it's very nice stuff. Transparent recruitment calls. Maybe for us, for you, is something which is obvious, but we are owning or partially owning different companies. Of course, we are 100% owner of our public transport, 100% owner of our garbage company, and so on and so on. And we are talking about hundreds of millions of euros every year going through these companies. And imagine it works always like that. The political parties in the city parliament decided, you will take this one, I will take this, and you will have general director of this company, I will have, I don't know. So we of course, we don't have nobody behind me. There is no political party behind me. There's nobody who's pushing me. We decided we are going to do a process, take it from private companies, how they're doing recruitment, and we changed all the main companies, directors and board members and so on. It was a very transparent process, and it wasn't easy because the push from the people who want it to be there and stealing the money was quite big. Metropolitan Institute of Bratislava. This was one of my biggest topics during the election. Where we already find it. It's a company owned by Bratislava, of course, who is dealing with mainly urban planning, but also with participation. It's a company who is doing architecture competitions. Now we are already 42 architecture competitions scheduled for next 3 years. Before Christmas, we are going out with another 3 or 4 competitions, very tight schedule. And it's very important because we have big push from developers. And when we are talking with developers, we need somebody who is better than developers and know better what's going on in the world and know better than all the rules. And these are the guys. They're going to be the bold face of Bratislava. And I'm very happy we already having it. We started with a budget of 1 million euros per year, and now they're doing 20 employees, and we are growing. Architecture competition, that's very important for us. Of course, I'm an architect. I believe that even if many times it's so difficult, it's taking so much time, but I still believe the architecture competition is the best way how to find the best solution to the problem. It's very also important to say that I was able to employ in MIP, Metropolitan Institute of Bratislava, the people who are really able to write a good brief for competition. That's very important. And we are doing, these are the beautiful pools in the middle of Bratislava, historical building, very nice, destroyed during the communism with very strange renovations, and we are going to do competition in January, and I'm looking forward to the renovation. Public space. This is a parking just in very close to the city center. We decided we're going to have an architecture competition there for a park. Of course, it taking a time. So during this summer, we did some kind of pop-up square. We bring some chairs. It costs nothing. We paint the green, and we have some food stand, and we of course asking people who are there what they prefer to have there. We're doing participation, and we have more than 200 surveys from 200 people, and we're asking the opinions. This is how it looks during the summer. This is very interesting thing, and I already talked to your mayor about this. You know, Michael Bloomberg is a 3 times mayor of New York City, and maybe next president. Still don't know if they're running or not for president of the United States, but he's the guy who believes that the democracy, the savior of democracy are the cities. The cities are perfect level of where you can do the politics, but you are so close to people. People see you, and they see what you happen, and said that in the end, the municipal politicians are the most trusted. In Canada, for example, there was this big survey, and the mayors are the most trusted politician from the Canada. And he also knew that to be a mayor, it's a difficult job. One day there's old lady beating you because her neighbors are too noisy, and it's your fault, mayor. Go and talk to the neighbors. And the same days you are deciding if you are signing a contract for 100 million euros for new buses and trams. It's very difficult, and it's very wide open, this call. So Bloomberg decided to create a curriculum with Harvard, 1-year curriculum for a mayor. So I applied for it with other 40 mayors. Now I went to New York, and now I'm doing this online different courses about to be a leadership mainly. And it's fantastic because there are many mayors. You have a mayor of Stockholm, Warsaw, of Chicago, San Francisco, but also small German city, Bratislava, which is a small European city, and it's fantastic. But because of this, it's not only about me, because when I won this scholarship, they also automatically gave it to my 2 seniors people. So the city manager of Bratislava are doing the same, and the chief of my staff is doing the same. And now, this is important, we are having free expertise from the Bloomberg Associates. So for example, we're going to do this kind of new app where many cities already have it, but it's not very easy to put it together. Application or telephone number, when you call it, you have all information on one place. Everything is there. And so they are helping us with this one, and now we won a small competition for their expertise for public space. So there are people from Harvard and Bloomberg are coming to Bratislava. They are helping us to create this new manual for public space. This is me in New York, all happy that I'm there. Let's carve more trees. This is there's 2 things, and I'm sorry that I'm talking more about to be a mayor than about to be an architect. I love architecture. I spent 18 years doing architect, and I absolutely was completely submersed in this topic. But now for last 2 years, I'm completely in the role of mayor, so that's my thing. And there's the thing that when you're a mayor, you can do very quick stuff and show that you are able to bring the change, or you can start to change the policies and slowly start to change the things, and you will have result in 3 years. I decided I want to have both of these things. So we are working very hard of changing the policies and preparing ourselves for another period of time. But we're doing also the quick wins. For example, this street was a street which is very close to my city hall, was always with the 2 cars parked on the both sides. We decided to put 1 row of the cars out, we bring new trees in. Imagine how the inhabitants of that street was happy. They don't have parking anymore. But trees are more than cars. So this is another 36 cars in the close to the city center. We just put it away, bring new public space. And of course we are doing a competition for public space. This is just temporary pop-up orange circles which they are showing that there is no more cars. It's just for pedestrian. This is how it looks like, and that was the idea. All the green stuff you see was mainly the cars before. Together, this is maybe the end of my presentation. I mean, what did I learn? And I was always a team guy. I always like to be in a team and do the things with other people. And I thought when I was writing the book that the main thing is going to be put people together and to do things together. Now, after 1 year, I'm a mayor. I 1,000% sure that this is the key word. I think it's not only about the Bratislava or Slovakia. I think it's today also EU. I'm an extremely big fan of European Union. It very helps our country, of course. But together is the key word for me for this year, for the next year. To put against, it's a metaphor, of course, but to use this table and put more people around the table and put more ideas together and try to find new ideas, try to be inspiration or find a new inspiration and exchange the good ideas, the winning ideas. It's very important. And I mean, the part of my together is that I'm here and I'm inspired by your beautiful library and beautiful city and beautiful music hall. So thank you very much for having me here, and together is the key word. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this very enthusiastic and enlightening lecture. I would like to invite you for, if you have some questions, it's your chance.
You won the election, but what was the ich weiß jetzt nicht, was das die Menge, also wie viel Prozent, how much, how
the percentage of the electorate, how many votes?
I think it was 36%.
So you can't rule the city without another party?
No, it's we have a, like here we have a direct election, so and they are not voting so I have like 60,000 votes, and the second one has less than 30,000 votes, I think. And from 45 members of city parliament, of city councils, I have with Team Vallo 17 people. So I need, for a majority, I need another one group. But in our city council is not about political lines. For example, the biggest and more successful the party, which is now a governing party, didn't win no seats. They have no people. So there is about values. I think we are about values, and I had my team with me. Our value or our guidance was Plan Bratislava. But what I did, I trying not to made a votation, or with I need 24 people, so and I'm trying to always have a majority, like big majority, over the 35, for example. So if there is a difficult things, I always spend a lot of time with people from the council, explaining all the time, trying to understand, trying to find compromise as well. Move sometimes away, but and in fact, when we did parking policies, which was when I bring it to the table in January, they say me, yeah, nobody's going to vote for that. But in June, 45 people from 45 people vote for that, because I spend a lot of time talking with them. It's very tiring, it's very difficult, but I think it's for now it's a good way to do that.
And you said that the book was the fundament of the election, and now it's the Bible. The Bible, that's right. Of your government. So, but the book is the basement.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I understand it exactly that the book is the basement, and now you are dealing with different themes and preparing the development of Bratislava. Yeah. So the second part of your lecture is the praxis.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The first one. This is the book. Actually, this is the present for a mayor. I bring just one, but it's in Slovak. Sorry, but nice images inside. Yeah. I mean, the idea was when I was doing the book with the 76 people, I told them, imagine that now we are ruling the Bratislava, and you want to describe and prepare the change. So your idea must be completely real in the money and in the legislature process and so on. So it wasn't the crazy vision of somebody who don't know how the things are in reality. It was the thing which really like 90% from it I can apply it and do it now, which is very good, because in the end you don't have, in my case in Bratislava, you don't really have time to think about the future. You need to be ready before you became mayor, and this is what was the fundamental in my electoral campaign. People believed that I'm somebody who is prepared and who is going to deliver the results. So that's important. And of course, in the campaign, I met very lot of people, and I'm continuing to do so. So from January in this year, I had around 30 meetings more than 30 meetings with citizens. Always were some topics. For example, 2 weeks ago, we announced the new tram line, which is going, I'm sorry to say that what is the best way, is going in front of new Slovak National Theatre. And of course, many architects was very angry, like, you cannot cut this new public space with the tram. But I believe the tram is something which is very kind of symbol of the city, is the most beloved public transport in the Bratislava, and is a part of public space for me. But when I had arguments, numbers, I made a big meeting with people, and I didn't say, I'm asking you what you think the tram should go in front of the theater or not, because I knew their answer, and I knew that this is a decision which must be made based on not emotions, but on the data, on how many seconds the tram goes through the square, how many people will attract such a quick tram, and all the things we have from the models. So this is where we are now.
Some more questions?
What are the greatest difficulties you see and you have to face now in realization your projects, and what were the difficulties which you saw as you began or started your new projects, your new policy? Have they changed, or are always the same? Or is it that you have always to speak and to talk and to have a lot of meetings? It's that,
There is a small city close to Bratislava. It's called Trnava. The first project I show you is from that city. And they, for last 5 years, they had this new, very young mayor. He was the, in the last election, there was the big political parties lost a lot, and new mayors like me won. And this guy was the first one 5 years ago. And he did a very good job. And now, yesterday, he announced that the taxes from real estates, from every flat, every house, every terrain, are going 100% up. And which is, nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. And I was going through his Facebook when he was chatting with people, and people were angry. They were like, yeah, don't do that. But in the end, people say, we knew that you are going to do a good job. So this is something, I'm going to do your answer, that he spent 5 years doing a fantastic job, and people believe him. And when he brings very difficult things to the table, people say, okay, Mayor, we are behind you. Yeah, they are grumpy, they are like, we don't like it, can you change it, can you make it 50? But in the end, from the dialogue on his Facebook, there was clear that people are behind him. Now I'm not in that position. I'm mayor only for 1 year. So I need to spend time and talk people, explaining, and I need to have a data. There's no, even the city is a lot about the emotions. I cannot measure emotions. Everybody has own emotions. I always need to bring data to the table. And the trend was also about the data, exact data. We spent half year to having it. So for next X years, I don't know how many, I know I'm going to spend time with our citizens and talking to them and explaining. And I hope one day will be much easier because they will believe that I'm serious and I'm doing it only for one reason, that I believe that is the best solution. Thank you for your question.
My question again rather goes to the mayor and not to the architect and city planner, unfortunately. A few years ago, there was a very successful book, and you probably even read it, by an American politologist. The title was If Mayors Ruled the World. The subtitle was Rising Cities and Dysfunctional National States. His main thesis is cities is where the necessary social change is happening. Cities is, in the cities, we are tackling the great challenges from climate change and adapting to climate change, migration, handling diversity, fighting social exclusion. That's where things happen, whereas the nation states are rather dysfunctional. So would you agree with that thesis? And since you probably are saying simply, yes, I do, on the basis of that, how is your relation with your national government? Do you have many problems with your national government?
Okay.
Do you find the necessary compromising to get the tax funds you need, and so on and so on?
You know too much. No. I do. Of course, I believe, I know the book, of course, and I really believe that that's true. And it's because I explained before, just local governments, there's a big difference, the word local. If something is local, you know it better, you have more control as a citizen, you know, you see better under their fingers, under our fingers. We have a difficult situation in Slovakia. We are having liberal female president, fantastic. She's 3 years more older than me, and she's a very, very well-known human rights lawyer. And now she's a president. It was a victory from zero to absolute victory, and it's fantastic. And we have a government which don't have my absolute. I'm absolutely anti this government. And biggest dream is to have another government. But of course, now I'm depending from them. And I'm mayor of many people who are maybe voting for this government. So, of course, I'm trying to have a relationship with them. I never step back from this opinion. I just have a big interview in a newspaper yesterday where they asked me if I still think that this government is the very bad from Slovakia. And I said yes. Even if I'm meeting the people from this government, also Prime Minister, next week, I said yes, I think this is the very bad for our country. But my answer was that I'm mayor for all the people from Bratislava, and my main thing is to have a Bratislava flourish, and if I need the money from this government, I'm going to ask that money. So there in 27 of, they already read the interview, I think, but if they're okay, because they are taking it personally, I hope not, we are having all government of Slovak Republic to meeting in my palace, to doing their sitting in Bratislava, dealing only with Bratislava's problem. So I hope they are going to give us more money and help us to change some policies which must be changed on the national level. And of course, I'm trying. I don't stepping back from my opinion, but I'm trying to work with them, of course. And I need to say they're good. They're working with us, even if they know that I am not big fan of this government. So we will, after 27, hold the fingers, cross the fingers for me. We ask them 35 million per year. They're going to give us 10, so, but it's not bad.
Yeah, I know it's not probably so important as the other things that you talk about, but is there any cooperation between you and the Slovak railway company to improve the current look of the Bratislava main station or something like that?
You're from Bratislava, right?
No, but I'm from Slovakia.
Yeah, that's the story. With very bad decision of the city hall in 90s, we are having this very bad fight on terms of now, of course, of court fight, and lawyers are involved with some kind of private developer, which is blocking the reconstruction of our main railway station, which is not owned by the city, but by the railways. But it's all complicated, and it's looking exactly how it looks in communist era. I mean, this is a tragedy, and people, you have this Japanese tourist walking out from the train from Vienna around 10 o'clock in the evening, like walking around the station, like very looking for taxis back to the Vienna, you know. But after the station is very nice city, of course, and they're happy after. The answer to this question is that even if we're really trying to do and work, we have a very good plan with the Director General of Slovak National Railways, but he was forced to leave the company. So we are starting from the scratch, and need to be honest, I'm waiting for the election, general election in February next year, to find a new Ministry of Transportation, because it's absolutely out of our hand. But I knew, of course, this, and I never promised in the election campaign that we are going to change it, because I knew that is not our property. We cannot do that. But we are fighting for it. I need 1 year more. Will be better.
How is the financial situation in Bratislava?
Financial situation is, I mean, the Bratislava is one of the richest regions in Europe. There's the salary are very high, a lot of money in Bratislava, a lot of developers. You need to understand that we are the city between Prague, it's 2 hours and a half to Prague drive. Vienna is 60 kilometers from my house, like 35 minutes to airport of Vienna, and Budapest, which is another 3 hours. So this region is doing very well. And the problem is that people has money, but not the city, because the money we have are always from the state. and it's difficult, and we are waiting for a new government to change the scheme, how the Bratislava has own money. Now, I hope nobody here is from Bratislava. We are thinking that we'll be still in time to raise the taxes this year. Very bad. I don't want to do that, but the city district are completely without the money. For example, what government did to us? There was this is, I think, Hungary or Austrian rule, old rule or something like, and it's also in Austria that if you are owning the house, the sidewalk in front of the house, you need to clean it, and you need to clean it from the snow, for example. And it was working well, was all Slovakia like this. And they decided they want to be a more popular, so decided, no, we are going to make a rule, the cities are going to take care of it. And in Bratislava, we need this year to take care of 1,200,000 square meters of new sidewalks, which cost us a lot of money. And a month ago, they decided, yeah, elections are coming, so we are going to make smaller taxes. Everybody loves it. But for the cities, it means that we will have less money. So for this year, I have a 16,000 million less than last year, which with the budget, we are having 400 millions, but this is the not district, just our budget, and non-companies, that the city budget is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. So we're fighting, like everybody else, for the money and for better funding. I believe that with the better and more transparent government, we can save 10 to 15%. Hey, for example, and this is, I think, good number. So if we are going to do that, we are able to do that. We have more, another between 30 and 40 millions of euros per year. We will see. I tried to sell ice hockey rink, but it's, I understand I cannot do that. We have a contract with state. We cannot sell it for another 30 years. But I mean, why Bratislava should own ice hockey rink? We need 20% there, so our children can play, and we have a power of it, but we don't really have nothing for it. I'll thank you very much anyway for the question.
How is the relation and the collaboration between Bratislava and Vienna? Because in the past it was a very close
you know Vienna, of course. You know that Vienna is always on the top, like first or second with all the charts, like the best city in the world, the best cultural city of the world, best German city of the world, and there is that it was a dream during the 90s called like twin cities. The Bratislava, Vienna are two closest capital cities in the world, 40 to 60 kilometers. And there was this project, beautiful project in the 90s, like they're going to connect, they will be together because they will grow in this direction. The truth is that we try to grow in that direction, but the Vienna really don't care. They really don't care about Bratislava and the twin city. Well, what is this? They don't, and I understand it. So when I did an official visit to Vienna, which I did during the summer, my only issue was to talk with the mayor of Vienna about how they can help us with our know-how and give us their expertise. And so we're now starting to send our employee colleagues to Vienna for 3 months, for example, to see how the things are doing. And they are very nice. Any problem I have, I call them, they give me their people who are dealing with this problem for half day. I send our people. And it was fantastic because the vice mayor was saying to us that, yeah, we finished the project of bike lanes. We have so many bike lanes in Vienna, but not so many people are using it. And I say, why? What's happening? That we have such a good public transport that people staying in public transport. I said, okay, wonderful. That's the dream, you know. And Vienna is the city which is having less car every year, which is, I think, the Vienna is is very good example. We would like to follow it, and it's good to learn from the best. And I'm happy we are so close to Vienna. And I of course, it was very strange. Imagine that when the Iron Curtain fall in '89, I was around 12 years old. 3, yes. And it was funny that it took a lot of time for us to start to go to Austria, to go to Vienna. Even if our parents, we wasn't used to have this possibility to go to Vienna. But when we started, now Vienna is for us like, let's go for dinner. We go to dinner or see the concert or shopping. It's like we are like satellite city of the Vienna. And I had this presentation in front of the Slovak architects, and I said, Bratislava don't need to be trying to be this big European city, because we're never going to be that. We are nice because we are a small city. We can be like satellite of Vienna. Not very popular with this, because of course every citizen want to be the biggest city, but we are happy with this. We are just the small city close to the Vienna, and it's very, very good for us.
I'm not an architect, I'm geographer, so I just wanted to say we are working with public space, and yeah, kind of that too. I wrote my thesis about public space and how the loss of historic buildings impacts public space. So I wanted you to ask, was there a part of this plan for Bratislava with the historic buildings? Because a lot of Eastern European cities like Riga or I don't know, former Eastern European cities, are following an opposite way. I think, for example, in Innsbruck, a beautiful Art Nouveau building was teared down a few weeks ago at the Western train station, which I think is not a good example for how to treat public space, because, yeah, would be too long, but is there any plan for historic building? Is there any plan for reconstruction in Bratislava, like it is in other European cities where communism teared down a lot of historic building sites?
Of course, I'm an architect, and when I was starting the project of Trnava, I show at the beginning the heritage, national heritage buildings. I spent 7 years to work on that, and it was a very slow process, and I became a big fan I was always about modern architecture, but that time I felt completely in love with the old buildings, and now I prefer to do a reconstruction of old building than to new build one, and I really like it. So now I'm a good partner for a National Heritage Fund and people who are protecting old buildings, and of course I'm in power to stop some processes which brings to the, for example, destroying of the old buildings. But there is imagine that we have there was this in the moment in the history. After the First World War, we used to be a country called Czechoslovakia, one of the most, was very first, we call it First Republic, where a lot of modernism building, a lot of high quality buildings were born, and was capitalism, was democracy. Imagine that Villa Tugendhat by Miss van der Rohe in Brno was born during this year, which is one of the top villa in world still today. But after 47 came communist and completely stopped the everything which was old, they stopped, like the old buildings wasn't protected. Communists, I don't know why, they weren't very keen of protecting old building, because old building were the symbols of old kingdom and aristocracy and bourgeoisie, of course, and the churches was, of course, churches. So we have this 40 years hole in the protection and preservation of building. So it taking time, and now everybody completely understand how it's important. But there were so many buildings we lost, too many buildings we lost, all buildings. For example, the bridge, main bridge in Bratislava called Bridge of Slovak National Uprising is actually that one. You see it is this one. Actually, is that the correct image? Is the restaurant? This is the most important Gothic National Heritage building where the Maria Theresia was coronated. But here, this is not exact building. Here there was a Jewish synagogue. It's not there anymore. If they move the bridge 2 meters to the left, they can keep the synagogue. But they didn't do that. It was 70s. And because of this, they destroy all this part. This is not true, this building. All this part, which is the old part of Bratislava, they completely destroyed. And now Bratislava has quite small city center. The medieval historical city center is quite small. So to answer your question, for me it's very important. I understand when you're talking about the public space and old national heritage buildings. It's very important, the connection. And I think we will do everything to preserve the old buildings in Bratislava.
Towards the end of your lecture, you sort of wound up your view on what is the key word in running a good city administration and facing the challenges. And you said it was together. Now, my question is to the city planner and to the architect. If you had to do the same for the challenges of city planning, of city development, what would be the key word you would use to say that's the most important thing in city development?
Thank you very much. That's very good questions. Architect are always horrified, or many times horrified, when the public or start to be too active and start to influence what's happening there. And I don't know, there is no we have this rule in our office that we are never going to build a building which is going to be controversial, in that sense that is going to influence in bad way environment, influence somebody living, tear down some old building because of this new building. So we were never afraid of public. We were always ready to stand out in front of the public. And maybe it's not the word together, but maybe it will be word like tolerant. That's the very important thing, to be like tolerant. And for architects, it's very important. For young architects, the main key word is, or main word, it's very important to be able to say no. Because when you are young, you don't have many clients. Somebody come to you with some bad project, which may be destroying some neighborhood, and you need to be able to say no. So is a tolerance and to be able to say no to the some projects.
Thank you for this very perfect last sentence, I would say, because it's a perfect end of your presentation. Thank you so much for your coming to Innsbruck, Matus Vallo. It was a really fantastic lecture, fantastic discussion as well. Thank you so much also to you. And I wish you a nice evening. In the back there, it's possible to drink a glass of wine or beer, so you're invited. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your question and for having me here. Thank you very much again.